Hey everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to the Preset Biz channel. So in today's video we're covering one of your requests, which was Alok Song with Steve Aoki, which is called Typical, and this is quite a new release, so we're going to go and check it out and try and see what we can do with the verses and builds, and then come back here on Friday and then we'll do the drops. So I'm starting this one with the pluck sound, which is right from the start, and this is what the MIDI looks like for it. So there's also a bit of chord content kind of going on here within the ARP itself. The preset we're using for this is a pluck called Submarine, which you can get in Car Music Volume 2. And alongside the vocal, we've got this. Give me that taste, night and today's, give me the highs I love. It's always the same. So the only thing that's different in this sound is on the fine tuning here. What I've done is kind of linked it to LFO1, I believe. So it gives it a little bit of like a wobbly kind of pitch. Next up, we've got the Reese, which sits underneath all of this. And the first preset I'm using is called Reese Deep Devil. Here's the MIDI for it, and here's how it sounds. And then to really beef up the low end on this sound, I've got another preset called Reese I Don't, which you can get in Car Music Volume 4. So with the two presets together and all the rest of the song, we have this. Give me that taste, night and today's, give me the highs I love. It's always the same, screaming my name, yeah, you know what I want. Now we move on to some automation parts which are going on here. So we've got some channel pitch automation where the pitch will jump up a whole octave, as you can see here. And then we've got some filtering which is opening up, so you kind of get a bit more of like an aggressive sound. So the next sound was quite a tough one to recreate because I've got a feeling this might have been done on an analog synth. So it's like an ambient kind of key stab. So these are the chords that I've got for it. The preset I'm using is called Amazing Bells. It's a pluck sound. You can get it in Synth Pop Volume 1. And here's how it sounds in the mix. So all of the processing is done in the box, kind of all in Serum. So I've got the reverb actually on here. I've just dialed the decay up massively, I believe, and the size as well, so you get a really kind of big ambient sound. And then we head into the second half of the verse, or even the build section, I guess, and a piano's introduced. So what I've done here is used FL keys, but for the sake of this video I'm using FL keys because it's a lot easier and more accessible. So this is kind of the way I've tweaked the FL keys preset, and here are the chords for it as well. And to kind of sweeten the whole sound, I've got a bit of reverb on here just to fill it in a space a bit so it sounds a bit less dry. We then go into this same section here where we've got some strings introduced now on every odd clap beat. Now on their own they sound quite bad, but with the rest of the mix context it sounds kind of in place. And to do this sound I've grabbed the full preset which you can get in Car Music Volume 3, and it's essentially just a violin staccato sound. So we also now have these claps which are introduced from Fish in the Lake Volume 3, which is the brand new Tech House pack, and this has got such good like 808 drum machine kind of claps and kicks as well. So it's a really tight pack if you want to get really nice drum sounds. But this is how they sound in the mix. And so on the processing, as you can see, we've got some GW Voice Centric, which is a really good plugin for drums and kind of like brightening up sounds. So I'm using this on the claps, and I've got a little bit of delay which you can kind of hear. And then the OTT is just kind of brightening up the top end and really crisping the whole sound up a bit more. I then decided to add these shaker loops which are really subtle in the background just to kind of add some rhythm to the whole song. We then head into the build section right here where there's a snare fill introduced, and I was lucky because in Car Music Volume 4 there's a snare build which was exactly like the pattern we needed for this. So now we're into the pre-drop section where we've already had the snare fills and stuff, but there's just a sub drop that comes in and it's kind of just playing on its own. So now the last sound to cover is this ambient reverse pad sound which comes in right before the drop, and it actually plays right on the drop as well, so it kind of marks this like big start of the drop. And the preset for this sound is called Bounce, and it's a pluck which you can get in Car Music Volume 4, but I've kind of changed it to become more of a pad sound. And I've done this just by tweaking the attack to almost a second and changing the cutoff as well, so it's a bit duller as a sound, it's less bright and kind of in your face. So this is how it sounds. It's a typical, call me cynical, And the only processing we've got is a kickstart on the classic chain, mixed in at 70%. So it's kind of just a light sidechain. So that's the entirety of the production. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you come back on Friday, we'll do the chorus as always. But make sure you're dropping down all of your suggestions down below as always. We check all of those out. And without any further ado, let's go and take a little listen.
Give me that taste, night into days. Give me the highs I love. It's always the same, screaming my name. Yeah, you know what I want. You made me a sinner. Can't look in the mirror. Your love is a thriller. Hey. You hold me, you hold me, you hold me like you know you only play this game cause you're lonely. You're playing this game cause you're lonely. It's so typical, call me cynical. No condition.